In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Zilliqa and doing some price analysis. We'll have a look at it on the higher time frames down to the lower time frames and have a look at some areas where we think we could potentially invest or even open a trade, whether that long or short. And we'll have a look at that in both the USDT and the BTC pairings. If you are new to this channel, then please make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that like button and let's crack on. Starting off, we will just take a quick look over Bitcoin. As you can see, we are starting to what seems to look like a bit of a rollover so far. This has happened on the previous wave here, as you can see. From the lows down at 29k, we popped right up to 42k. Then we did get that rejection. It was actually a 3.28 rejection on the Fibonacci. If you look at this from bottom to the top there, we tapped at 3 times on that 318 level or 382 level, and then we popped to the upside. Similar scenario could be happening here. If you look at this entire move from the bottom to the top again, from here to here, what we could be doing is coming back down to test this area of support here, this green band. This is a weekly level support around 43,400. So that's a possibility that we could come down and even test that 382 level before we do push on. So that's a little bit of setup there. I would expect that it is going to come down. It's not just going to have a little tiny rollover and push on. I think it's going to at least come down and tap some area of support before it does make that next move. For me, that's all I can see it doing. I can't see it coming any further down, down towards these 35k regions. I think those areas are done and dusted now. I mean, if you're looking for some buys, maybe target around this area here. And before we do push on to the upside, I've just done a bit of a continuation of the moving average 50 there, so that's an area that you could potentially target if the price action does stay above this 50. One good thing to note is that the money flow is back into the green here. There was such a sell-off period from that very top up there to the pretty much the bounce. It was a period of negative money flow, but now that has started to turn green, and hopefully we can sustain that price action now. So that's BTC. My thoughts are very short term on the lower time frames that we're going to get a push down towards this support at 43k. Long term, I think we have started the next major move to the upside. So take a look at Zilliqa, currently priced at 10 cent. Just want to start off on the weekly time frame. Here we'll just see if we can identify a few key levels of resistance. I have got one up here already, so if you look at this level here at 15.37, that's where we rejected there and we rejected there. So I'm looking for two confirmations of a wick within the same area, and to me that confirms that is a valid area of support or resistance. And also it looks like we've got one around here. If you look at this green wick here, pretty much lands right on top of that one, so that's at 11.4 cents. So we'll mark it up as well, and that just gives us a little bit of structure above for potential areas where we could look at looking to sell to maybe accumulate to buy back in. And then let's just have a quick look down here, see if we've got anything. You could say all these boxes, all these wicks should I say, around here, that is all within a trading area. So if you can see, wick, 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 wick there, and lots of wicks. So that is another area of support which we've used this time on the weekly time frame to bounce up on this next move. Dropping into the daily, we have a little bit of structure there now. We are trading now above the moving average 50. Whenever I'm looking for potential long-term swings or long-term investments, I'm looking for the price action on the daily time frame to be trading above the moving average 50. We are above that now. Second indicator for me is make sure that money flow is in the green. As you can see on the previous cycle up, money flow was in the green for the entire cycle up, and then for the entire cycle down, money flow was in the red. So that means everybody's selling rather than buying. If you're zooming into this right now, if you want to have a look right into the money flow, well, for me that looks like it's about to tick to the green side. So that does show that there's positive money coming in, and there are more buyers than sellers. In turn with that, the price action will flow to the upside. What we need to do first is just have a look at some key areas where we could potentially target for buying. If we look at the entire move from the bottom to the top there, I mean, there's no harm in saying that we could come back down to test this weekly area of support. We've been traded in this for a while and we viewed it as support. In theory, when you're looking for major moves to the upside and you're looking for entries, you always look for areas of support below. So if I were looking for some buys on Zilliqa, I would potentially target this region at 8.5 cent. We may not get there, it depends what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin pushes back up to 45, 46k, then in turn the US dollar pairs will start to follow that up, and then the first target really will be breaking through 11.4 cent. But for buys, I would ladder a couple in from around 9 cent all the way down to about 7.5 cent within that area there, and I think that could be a decent area for you to pick some up if you've not bought yet, because I know a lot of people did turn their assets into stables up here, and some people start holding Zilliqa and looking for a re-entry. We have now reclaimed as 50, so if you're looking for a re-entry, just wait out a little bit and see if we do pop to the downside, and if you're going to superimpose that 50, then you could say something like this. So around that area could be a decent area to target before we do start to push on. So that's buy zones within that range. I've already mentioned sell zones if you're looking to accumulate. So accumulation is pretty much waiting for a price to hit resistance, then selling up there. So you're going to be selling here, and then once you've sold, buy back in at support, and then hopefully break through, sell up here, and that's accumulation. Buying at support and selling at resistance. The resistance levels that we have got so far above us is 11.4 cent, and then we have this region up here at 15.3 cent. I'm pretty much doing analysis videos on Zilliqa nearly every week. It's one of my favourite assets. So what I will do is, if we break this 11.3 cent area soon, I'll jump straight into another video. But if not, I'll just leave it towards next week, and then we'll jump into some further price analysis. But for me, I think it's just going to go up. We might, short term, get a little bit of a drop down. I mean, if you look at this on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we are starting to roll over now. But if you look at this wave on the way up, we have been moving in waves. So this could just be that next pop down to the 50 possibly, and then we start moving on and move up like that. But yeah, so far looking good. Remember, we have that area of support down here. If we're just having a zoom right into the hourly, I don't tend to go this low, but as you can see, this sell-off, it looks like it has seemed to stabilize so far. We are going sideways. I think Bitcoin's going sideways as well, so we're just looking for that next major impulse, whether that to the upside or down to the downside. If it does impulse to the down, then you're going to fill some orders. If it pushes to the upside, you're going to look at taking some profit. And then if you're looking at all the time frames from an hourly all the way up to the daily, money flow is nearly back in the green on all time frames. So once we do push into the green, I think that will be it. I think we might start to see some great growth, because so far Zilliqa from the bottom to where we currently are has done a 111% price rise. Got still quite a way to go to all-time highs, and I think these all-time highs, which is 139% away, will be absolutely smashed in the future. I've got a good feeling that this is going to be a multi-dollar asset at some stage. So if you're holding, good luck. Hold on for dear life, because it's going to be a crazy 4 to 5 months coming up, in my opinion. So that's that pair covered. If we just take a quick look at the BTC pairing, which I'm a little bit indecisive about. I think in general, I would still be expecting Bitcoin to go on a rally, whether that be tomorrow or in a couple of months' time. I'm thinking that because Bitcoin dominance is still low, I still think that Bitcoin might have one last final hurrah and reclaim some market dominance. I'm looking for a move like this. I'm looking for Bitcoin to push up to around 52%. Who knows what the price might be if Bitcoin's pushing up that high and then Ethereum's falling up. You could be looking at a 78k Bitcoin at some point in the not too distant future. With that, once that's happened, I think that it will then be turned for alts. While this is going up though and Bitcoin's reclaiming dominance, ultimately we'll be taking it on the Satoshi pairs. So if you're looking for buys, I would target this area of support down here, around 173 Satoshis, even maybe 190. So buy orders within that range could be a decent level. If though we do push on and my favour goes to ratchet and Bitcoin doesn't regain any dominance and alts just start flying, maybe the area to buy is anything below 238, because once we do break out of 238, we've got some next level is monthly resistance up at 309, so it could move pretty sharpish up into there. Money flow has been in the red row for a long time. I mean, you're going back to February, so it's not been the best time for Zilliqa in the BTC pairing, but the US dollar pair did really well. It had such a great rise. I mean, I was lucky. I managed to buy my Zilliqa, no word of a lie, down around this box somewhere. Well, about 1.8 cent I managed to buy mine. So quite regretful that I didn't top up more, but that's the way it is, and should be happy with what we've got. And I think long term, even if you're buying at these prices, I think you'll be massively rewarded for your efforts there. So that's going to do it for today's video. Just a quick breakdown on Zilliqa, and yeah, some buy zones and sell zones in both USDT and the BTC pairings. Hopefully we do start targeting this resistance up here soon. I'll jump into another price analysis video. If you're new to this channel, then please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button, and I'll catch you next time.